Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is Nick Miller and I am so overjoyed. I'm so excited. I am so happy. My cup is full. If you are up to date and follow the How to Film Weddings crew, just this past week, we had our Mastermind retreat. And Mastermind, it's our year-long program where we help people, go further faster in their business, where it's a year long of commitment where we're meeting each week, not so that we can just, talk about whatever, but to work specifically on your business. And whenever you carve out specific time each week to work on your business, some amazing things can happen. And Mastermind is such a fulfilling thing for me. And John, it's an incredible experience. We don't take it lightly. We are humbled every time we spend time with people that invest with us. And it was an incredible group. It was an incredible year. I am so thankful for Mastermind. So if you want to kind of see what Mastermind, the retreat looks like and what we did, head over to our Instagram page at How to Film Weddings. And there you can see some recaps and some stuff we're going to be posting continually for the next few days, because on next Monday, January the 27th, we are going to be launching Mastermind for the 2025 year. We have some updates. We're making some changes. We're always learning things when it comes to Mastermind, and we're really excited to share that information with all of you. So that is going to be coming up here next week. So if you would like to join the waitlist, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/mastermind. At our retreat this last week, brideandgroom.video sent a few of their liaisons, some of their people that work with the editors. They're the middlemen. They work with the editors, but also the filmmakers to help the filmmakers get what they are looking for. And Bride and Groom put in so much work and so much effort into being a part of Mastermind this year, and specifically at our retreat. They edited our daily reel recaps. They're editing some other stuff with us. Anyway, it was so great to be with them. We are so thankful for our sponsors over there at brideandgroom.video. And if you are someone, as you start 2025 and you would like to start outsourcing, you would like to do something in your business like that, I highly recommend checking out brideandgroom.video or our other vetted outsourcing partners over at howtofilmweddings.com/outsourcing. They helped us so much this past week, and we are so grateful and so thankful for our partners over there at brideandgroom.video. For today's podcast, what we wanted to do, we filmed a live panel discussion where the attendees of the retreat were able to ask our panel any kind of question that they had, ranging from their favorite movies to what are you doing with retirement and all of that sort of stuff. So we had on our panel, of course, me and John, Matt Johnson, Boomer Bate from Multiply Sound, Multiply Media, films by Stanton, Cody Stanton Giles, Austin Blanchard from The Creative, and Kennidy Nicole Films. She is local. She was hanging out with us and she was a part of that as well. It was a really good open discussion. And so we wanted to kind of give you a peek at maybe some of the things what it is like to be a part of Mastermind. And so we wanted to share this with the world. So again, if you're interested in Mastermind at all, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/mastermind. Now we're going to jump over here into this panel discussion, and so that you can get a little glimpse at what it was like to be at the Mastermind retreat this last year.
As a reminder, send us a message with a question. We will read anything on the teleprompter. Literally anything. Just kidding. Before we get going, we want to introduce everybody that's on this panel. So I'm going to hand this mic down. Say who you are. Say hello.
Hi, I'm Kennidy. Nice to meet you guys. I'm based here, so if you guys have any Arizona questions, I'm your girl.
Kennidy Nicole Films.
Kennidy Nicole Films.
Bingo. I'm Austin, owner of Creative Cabana. Hi, I got nothing else to say. That's it.
Well, there's a... Go ahead, Nick. There's nobody next to me. Just kidding.
I'm Matt.
Who?
Who?
Yeah. You got Boom.
I'm Boomer, Multiply Media, and Multiply Sound.
I'm Stanton Giles, films by Stanton.
And Rome.
So the idea here is we just want to be available to actually answer your questions where you're at right now. So, Nick, you have those pulled up. You want to read one, and then we can pick somebody to answer the question.
Okay. Brian asked this question specifically of Matt Johnson. What is your favorite movie and why?
On the spot? It wasn't Joker 2 that I watched on the airplane flying out here. A musical, huh? Okay. Probably Inception. I know it's Christopher Nolan, right? It's like kind of a cop-out, but he's great. It's really good. Yeah.
That's what you want your wedding films to feel like.
I don't like this mic on here. You know, why is this on here? We got to take this off. No. Don't be that guy.
I'm going to walk around in the dark.
All right. Okay.
All right. Anybody else a fan of Nolan out there? Yeah, he's all right. Nick, this is a question for you. Is this video behind you a Nick Miller creation?
It is. It is. I made this. If you haven't heard, I started an ambiance YouTube channel. I've only been talking about it all the time. I don't know how you say that word. That's how I say it. And I thought it would be fun to make an Arizona ambience, and so there it is. Ambiance. So yeah, ChatGPT, then Midjourney, then Photoshop, After Effects to Premiere, and then YouTube. That's the journey.
Okay, let's see here. Another question for Matt. How do you prep your couples and pre-production to create a wedding couple that feels authentic to them?
This can be open to.
Yeah, we're gonna open this.
We got an hour? All right. No, it's good. Okay, I will start off by saying that like we try to more communication is always better. The more you can talk to the couple, the more you can get to know them, the more you can like get them comfortable with you where they're willing to open up and really share like their emotions with you, because on a wedding day there's a lot of pressure to almost like perform as a couple. Like you have to look your best and you have to be really good and really pretty for all of your friends, and they're all here, and you really got to like make sure you don't mess up your lines. And so it's a lot of pressure. So the more you can remove that and let the couple be like their true, genuine selves and let you into their relationship and really show you the good and the bad of it. And if they're willing to show that to you, then it's amazing the type of film that you can create, because they're so much more open and honest.
Anybody else want to add to that? Okay. Anybody? It's okay if you don't. We got plenty of questions. You want to add to it?
Sure.
Go for it.
Something like tangible that I do is I hop on a call with my couples if they let me, like a week before their wedding, and I say, hey, I want to walk through your timeline. I don't like, we obviously know all the details from the planners, but I just want to hear in your words, like what you're excited for, what are you looking forward to, and just take note of that and like make them feel confident in like what you're going to be capturing for them. And they're like, oh, we're so excited, da, da, da. And just being able to show face before the wedding and have them get to know you if you get to.
Hi. Yes.
That follow-up question was, how much are you, learning before with surveys and that kind of stuff, and then or on the wedding day?
I don't do a survey before. I just do that one call. And then I'm more like documentary candid style. So I'm doing that one call before I talk it through. If I need to, I'll like talk it through with the planner too, and like really like look at the designs and see like, hey, what was their like important things like planning wise design stuff. And then just on the wedding day, just capturing like what I think fits them from what I've heard. Does that help?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So just the one call.
I got a question here. Hallie asked, as you reflect on 2024, what's one thing you would have done differently, and how does that inform how you would approach 2025? Stan, yeah. Go ahead,
Something that stuck out to me, and I'll be talking about action here in a minute to all of you, but something that stuck out to me was there's a pressure at the beginning of the new year to set a goal and an intention and a path for the entirety of this next year, which is kind of ingrained in us to do that. But that's a long time to be trying to figure out what exactly you want to do. It's a lot of pressure that I've noticed whenever it came to actually planning my goals this year. I was like, I don't want to do that anymore, because I was so misconstrued at the beginning of 2024. Boomer and I sit down intentionally every year and plan our goals out, very intentionally with like a presentation and everything. I was very misconstrued as to like, I knew the things that would be happening in my life. I knew I'd be moving. I knew that I would be doing more stuff with my education platform. I knew I'd be getting married, all of that. But I didn't take all of that into account with my goals, because I was, if this makes sense, I was where I was at right then, living the situation that I was in. And so all that to say, there's like I don't know what the name of the book is, but just the theory of it is like the 90-day year. And so this year I'm trying to break my goals up, and like I have big things I want to do in the year, but I know where I'm at right now, and I know what I can do with where I'm at right now. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to feel or where I'm going to be at the end of March. 3 months is a long time, and it's really quick at the same time. And so setting intention and action steps and practical things I can be doing right now, instead of like trying to, swallow the whole elephant, just taking it one bite at a time by breaking it up into 90 days. That's something that I'm trying to apply to this year that I didn't do last
I'll skip that one.
Okay. I know for me on that, I shared this, a little bit ago, that this last year was just really rough for me, and, feeling like I was kind of in a funk a lot. And so I think that has informed me moving into 2025 about why I decided that I want to move forward and take a direction and take action steps, whether they're small or, whatever, but just do something each day to go forward so that I don't end up in this, just overwhelmed, frustrated kind of sense for myself. So that's my answer to that question.
That's good, Nick. Thank you. I'll go off of that and what Stanton said. Like, how many of us in the room are dreamers and just like set tons of goals and have so many ideas? Yeah. Something I'm learning along with what they said is I can only get done about like 40% of what my brain thinks I can get done. And so it's just like, what if I set less goals, not hold myself to such high standards? And of course, we want high standards and we want to achieve great things, but great things take time. And a lot of times I'm like, I think I can get this done this week. And the list is literally a year's worth of to-dos. So yeah, that's something I'm trying to learn.
That's good. That is good. Let's see. What's a business mistake or learning moment you experienced early on that you wish you could go back and change? What's a business mistake or learning moment you experienced early on that you wish you could go back and change?
I'll let you guys all think about that, but I know the one for me. It was in 2000 and I believe 16 is what it was, and my our son was about to turn 1, and I decided that I had built a brand good enough for the Wichita market, and I just kind of stopped networking, stopped connecting with other people, stopped doing anything. And I went from 25 weddings to 10, which was purposeful with the child and everything. But then the next year, I really, really struggled in the market because I wasn't like hostile or anything like that to the other people, but I just kind of quit trying to connect with them and stuff. And likewise, I think back circling around, 5 years later, history repeats itself in 2023 and 2024, because I had focused so much attention on how to film weddings. Wild Oak Films really struggled because I was putting all of my attention over there. And that's why my bookings have gone down and down and down, because no one knew who I was, or no one, I wasn't posting things. I wasn't putting ourselves out there. And so that's the mistake is it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And as long as the right people know who you are, as Elaine from KEJ says all the time, it's who knows you. So just being in front of people. And what does that look like? Is it your local market, the local people that you know? Is it, trying to just be more global and destinate? Like, it doesn't matter as long as people know who you are. So just the right people know who you are.
I would say my biggest mistake early on and up until this moment that I have to fight with is pride. and just thinking that people will discredit me if I don't know everything. I remember being 22, just getting going in the wedding video world and being at like a vendor lunch and just pretending that I knew everything. And I'm sure I just came across so unapproachable and so annoying. Just the idea, like I've always felt like I have to be a people pleaser, I have to be perfect. So like I can't show anybody a vulnerability. I can't ask a question like, well, what do you mean? What does that mean? What is shutter speed? Why do we care about that? Or like down to basic things where in the last few years, I've just gotten really cool with being like, what is that? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand. Can you help me? And so for me, the pride was I'll figure this all out on my own. So of course I'm not going to like do any education. Of course I'm not going to take anybody's advice. And that has, I learned that side of things. But as I've moved forward, I raised my prices, raised them when the market in 2022 was really good for me. My prices were way up. And the pride to bring them back down over the last couple of years has been like a mistake that I made that I wish I would have just said, hey, my market with my network does not justify the current prices I'm charging. That's why I'm not booking people. And as soon as I ate that piece of humble pie instead of the whole thing, that's when I started really booking lots of couples. So pride is a huge thing for me that I'm continually having to fight, and just the not wanting people to see that I don't know everything.
Yeah, I think I tried to be good at everything. I tried to be good at color and color correction. I tried to do the travel thing. I tried to do the luxury thing. I tried to do the elopement thing. I tried everything and I felt like I had to be good at everything. And it was until I just looked inside myself and I was like, wait, I need to play to my strengths here. What actually your unique perspective and gift is your superpower. And so I looked inside myself. I was like, I love music. I love sound. What if I just go full force into that, and play to my unique gift and perspective? And I wish I had done that earlier.
Nick, do you have one pulled up, or I can grab another one?
Go for it.
Let's just get straight to like a technical question. Who do we think could help us with that one? Go ahead, Matt. What do you think is the best way to store and organize large amounts of footage, archives, and footage of old weddings and from past years that add up very quickly?
Yeah, hard drives. Get floppy disks, a lot of them, and we're just gonna put it on 800 of them. A lot of those. My backup system is literally buy a lot of those MyBook Western Digital hard drives. I just bought like 20 terabyte ones, and you buy two, you mirror them so like they have the same thing on both in case one of them dies. You save all your files to those, and then you just put them in a closet and repeat for the rest of your life, basically. But it's pretty cheap to do. And I had a groom reach out to me last month, and he was like, hey, I was still watching the wedding video. I was like, I still have that footage. Oh, I still have that footage. Okay, good. Just in case, it works out. So, yeah.
Backups on backups.
Totally backups.
Yeah, sure.
I did the crazy thing in 2019. I invested $9,000 into a storage solution. So it's 170 terabytes, maybe. I don't remember. And it's a RAID system. And honestly, it's on all the time. It's still running for me. And I just dump everything on that. The hard drives back themselves up within that system. And then, it was a huge investment, right? A lot of you are probably thinking whoa, I'm not going to spend that. But I don't know how long it's going to last. So contact me in years to come and we'll see. But if it lasts a long time, it will easily pay itself off and become a cheaper solution. And you can just replace the hard drives too as they go bad. So that you can have it sync to the cloud. Yeah. So mine does back up. Yeah.
Talk about Raise for Juice. Oh, juice. He did this last year in the same.
Here's
Spirit of Mastermind.
okay. Listen, that system, you can get a 132 terabyte system, a RAID system for $3,000. You can also get you put SSDs in an 8-bay, and it's 32 gigabytes SSD. You can daisy chain them together so they only take one USB slot on your MacBook. Talk to me afterwards. I'll get you the links. Well worth it. About $3,000, $2,800. I'll link them to these guys' affiliates. But talk to me if you want to know more about the rate system.
All right, wow. All right, we're all awake. What? Okay. Andy and Stephanie had a question that 7 people have hearted. Says, what is your retirement strategy? How long do you see yourself filming weddings, and what is your plan after you stop filming?
I don't know. No, but I do have a high yield. I have a high yield savings account. You should have one of those. And a Roth IRA. You should have one of those. I'm not a financial planner, though.
We get into talking about SEP IRAs. Everybody falls asleep. So it's obviously like a retirement plan as a wedding creative. Like this kind of job is pretty new in the history of the world since cameras didn't exist too far in the past. For me, I'm obviously every month investing into my retirement accounts and like putting money back. And I didn't start those soon enough. So for me, I was like 22 when I started filming weddings. And I know you guys know that I turned 40 last year. So I thought by 40, it's like, that's going to be, I'm going to off ramp by the time I get old. And I'm in 40 and I feel the best that I've ever felt. And I'm more excited than ever to do this. And so like, I think that it can be crippling thinking too far, but I know the seeds I need to be planting now so that I have options in the future. And so that's kind of how I base things is every month I'm putting X amount of dollars just automatically into retirement and watching that grow. It's like, okay, I'm going to have money when I get old if I want to quit. That's great. And other things like real estate or investing, but I'm paying attention to my money as part of my retirement. I'm not just going to get to 50 and be like, oh shoot, I didn't save anything. So like, having some kind of automated savings is really important. Irrelevancy on age, I think it's just like for me, now that I'm 40 as opposed to 22, I'm now relating to not only the brides and the grooms, but their parents. And it's like, I can talk to them. Like I'm in between the age of like my oldest is 14. So she's not old enough to get married yet, but I'm able to relate to them in a different way. And that's cool because I'm like, yeah, get your mom on the call. Like we'll talk. This will be great. Cause I can talk to her about how my wife and I are excited about our kid's wedding. And, so I think as long as I'm physically able and enjoy it, I will do it. I think some people have like a season of wedding filmmaking and they go away from it, and that's cool too. But I don't know of age. Like I know a lot of people in their 50s and 60s doing it, and you're not going to necessarily maybe relate to the 22-year-old sorority girl anymore, but you might relate to people in their mid 30s, mid 40s that are getting married, or I don't know. Like there's a lot of weddings that happen all the time. And if you're interested and excited about it, I say keep doing it. I'm always thinking about 3 to 5 years in the future on when it comes to what I want to do next, because I don't think that we're supposed to know as a person of faith. I don't think I'm supposed to know everything as I'm walking my journey of life. And as my good friend, Mr. Stanton Giles will say, like being led by the breadcrumbs that excite you in life. That's why I added photography, and it's like made me so excited about everything I'm doing because that just seemed like the right thing, and I started doing it. And so I don't think, Matt, do you think your age has anything to do with it?
I'm glad I'm not as old as you. So.
Okay, wow. Yes. Yeah. So the question is like, has our target audience changed as we've gotten older? I'm not that old. Right? No. Okay. We are aging. Yeah. No, my target market has changed in my, like wherever you're at in your business, you might be 19 and just starting it and say, I'm not an old dinosaur in the industry. I have fresh eyes. So like you could market that way. But if I'm marketing and say, hey, I've been to 500 weddings, I know how to take care of you. And so, yeah, I do really well whenever parents are on the call. I can relate to them in a way as a parent. And so, yeah, my market has changed as we built out my ideal buyers. Like one of the people was Cindy, the mom, that's like, I need to market words to make her excited that I'm doing weddings or whatever. And so, yeah, the market for me has changed.
Yeah, just one last thought. Just from my perspective, I think age is the most irrelevant thing. I think I mean it, and I say it passionately because so many people as they get older, the world jades you and you start to become less enthusiastic. And that's what we typically see in people, but that doesn't have to be the story. And that's why a lot of people get into wedding videography, because you're enthused by it, because it makes you excited, because it makes something inside of you come to life. So if you're bringing life to the table and you're bringing excitement to the table and you're good at what you do and you have good branding and you're checking the boxes of what a good business is and you're bringing like the fullness of yourself, the excitement of what is inside of you, what's bringing you to doing this to the table, dude, you are unstoppable. You can beat the pulp out of a 22-year-old. Age does not matter. Yeah. What? Yeah, not physical. Well, maybe you could.
And also on the flip side, when you're talking about being too old, I know we have several people in here that would probably consider themselves as too young, right? And it's the same thing. Like if you might not be as experienced and you might not have, some of those advantages, but you do have things that you can offer that someone who's 43 cannot. And so I think it kind of goes both ways with that. Did you? Yeah. So the question was, as you grow and you get more established or continue, like, are you, doing associates? Or are you doing anything like that? I don't know if anyone up here is doing that kind of thing. I know that I am not. That's not something I am doing. I know that you have like shooters that you're going to send out stuff.
Yeah, I don't think my goal of retirement is like, oh, let me run a wedding video brand that doesn't have me involved in it necessarily. But I do think that if that's something that you're intrigued by, that's a great plan. So like if you can run a really solid bit, some people who here hates the business side of what we do. So there's a handful of us. If that's probably not like the thing. Who here just like lives for the business side of what we do? Yeah, you might be a candidate for that. So it's just knowing yourself and knowing that we all don't fit in the same box at all. And that to me is like, I used to want to build a volume brand, and then I started dealing with editors and I was like, I hate this. I do not want to spend my time recruiting people that are going to quit in 2 years and start their own business to compete with me. Not saying that's what it's going to happen, but if you can provide an incredible job for somebody that they want to be there, they're just like never going to care as much as the owner cares. But you could spend your time saying, hey, I want to do that. Like, I want to run this company and build a company out, and it's totally legit. So it just depends on what you want. Boomer.
Yeah, to close this topic, I honestly, or we could keep talking about it. One thing that I completely believe is you are so much more than just a wedding videographer. That is a tiny, minuscule thing that makes up the beautiful part of you as a person, you as a human.
It's okay.
What do you say? Yeah, exactly. And so, just a little part of my story is something that bugged me in the industry. I felt like I needed to. I felt like I was the person that needed to fulfill that, right? And that led to just a tiny little sound pack that I really didn't think was that all that great. It was this tiny spark. It was this tiny little thing that said, maybe in my free time I can do this, and this tiny spark led to this big fire of fulfillment and purpose that made up a different part of who Boomer is. And so I would say, realize that you are more than a wedding videographer, and what also catches your eye from time to time, like what stirs your soul, that might be something hidden. It's some type of sign in you that could be completely different than wedding videography. Like, I love that Nick's doing this type of stuff, because these little seemingly insignificant things that I said, oh man, like it would be kind of fun to make a cool sound effect, led to 3 years later my main thing that I'm doing of Multiply Sound. So you're so much more.
I know we're almost done with this thing, but 15 minutes ago, somebody asked about retirement. If you want somebody to talk to about like funds and all this specific stuff, from a perspective of like, as a freelance person that is not paid consistently, and you're like, I got busy seasons, slow seasons. I have that reasonably figured out, I would say. And I'm happy to tell you, like, hey, here's the funds I'm invested in. Here's exactly how I'm doing it. So find me later if you want to talk about that, and I'll talk your ear off about all kinds of fun investment stuff to make you a millionaire by the time you're 65, 70, 85, 90. I don't know. It depends on how old you are and how quickly we're getting started, okay? But if you're young, yeah, we got time. We got so much time, okay?
It's easier if you're just really rich, is what Austin's saying. If you're really rich, just put a lot in now. That's great. Wait till you get rich to invest, okay? That's my advice. I'm just kidding. On the heels of that, moving forward into like taking action, the little things, like it kind of filters into the retirement question or like what keeps you excited question. I see all these things is like a lot of us think, well, I don't have it figured out, so I'm not going to take steps. And I think that life is more like a foggy day where you take more steps and you can see further down the road, and you take more steps and you can see further down the road. And that's what Boomer's doing. That's what Stanton's doing. That's what everyone up here is just like, you know, Austin was like, I think I want to do branding, and I think that we want to do website building and like he has that background, and it's like, oh, we could, you know, it was the creative Cabana. You're just like taking steps that are imperfect action. And then it's like, oh, we've helped hundreds of wedding filmmakers. The same thing with how to film weddings. I kept getting DMs from people. What do you do? How are you charging this? Your work's not that great. How are you charging this? Was basically what everybody was saying. And I was like, oh, this is easy. This is what you do to make money. This is like a great way to take care of people. And do you have any classes on this? Like, that changed my life. I'm making more money. I'm, you know, and what's exciting to me is the conversations I had with Mal last night, or people just saying like, this is changing my life, this information. And what comes naturally and easy to you usually is the puzzle piece to fit to, you know, to fix somebody else's problem. And so maybe that's what comes naturally to you in your wedding video business, or like for me, talking to people about money and how to be smart with it and how to make more of it in a way that's not salesy or sleazy is super exciting to me. And so that's a breadcrumb. I took that step. I knew I wanted to do education. I found Nick. Like I was recording education before finding Nick, and it wasn't great. And I was like, this doesn't hit. And then I see this bald-headed dude with a beard on Facebook put out this tutorial, and I'm like, whoa, that's what I want to be making. Let me reach out. Where's he from? Oh, he's only 3 hours away from me. Hey, do you want to shoot a wedding with me? Hey, do you want to grab coffee? Hey, do you want, and like slowly took these steps, and it's like, oh, all you guys are here. And then it's like, you know, 8 years ago now, which is crazy. But I'm further on that journey of life. There's no way I could have, like when I talked to Nick the first time, I was like, I want to do workshops and record them. That's what I want to do. And they're mine. Okay, Nick? And he's like, okay, whatever. And we never would have, like Mastermind wouldn't have came out of how to film weddings if we didn't just take steps. So take those steps. What's getting you excited in your business, in your shooting, in your editing, with something random like ambience videos. So yeah, that's my advice. All right, Nick, what else you got? Yeah. Good time for like maybe one more. So many good questions.
Nolan asked, how do you make sure you still love filming weddings at the end of your busy season? That's a good question that no one knows how to answer.
You're not.
Take the weddings that you want to take, be really specific with those weddings, and charge more. Okay.
Stanton's thinking hard over there. Or he might be thinking about his talk here in a few minutes. Probably both. How do you make sure you still love filming weddings at the end of your busy season?
Just take time off. Honestly, I think every busy season I got to the end and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But I have gotten good, and my wife and I have gotten really good about traveling and just turning off. And by the time you get back, and even if you're not traveling, if you're just home, at some point that spark gets ignited again. If you truly love it. Some people will do that and they'll be like, this isn't for me. And that's okay. I think that's something we have to be okay with within ourselves, is like I've seen people leave this retreat before and decide wedding filmmaking is not for me. And I think that's okay. Like, we have to be willing. That's the goal. That's the goal. So quit so we can steal the rest of the market. I think that's.
You should all quit.
A really wise person that is not myself once said, the antidote to exhaustion isn't necessarily rest, but wholeheartedness. So,
I'm smart. Smart.
Yeah, it was Nick who said that. I know I'm being a dead horse here. He said, isn't necessarily rest. Okay, so it might be rest. You might need to take a vacation. You might need to take a break. Or is there something that you can do that is wholehearted to you? And you are the only person who knows that. What is something that you could do that will absolutely fill your soul up to go into the next year?
So good.
Yeah, I was going to say filling your time with something, but I think as I'm making these dumb videos that are playing behind me, finding something that is more of a hobby, finding something that is just something that you enjoy doing will help you with the other stuff. And I think that so many of us are so focused on, I need to be the best at this. And I have to run Instagram and I have to edit videos and I have to do sales calls and my website sucks and I have to do this and I have to do this. And so what's the first thing that gets cut, right? It's, me enjoying something, me having fun, whatever. And so finding a little something to fill your time with is going to help you with that.
Yeah, I think there's a balance, like the creative balance and the business balance. Like Kennidy is saying, if you're taking on 60 weddings this year and 50 of them, you absolutely hate the couple, the wedding, you're going to not want to edit those. Like now you need money, so you said yes to them, but should have you said yes? Like that's the first step in my, like, what are you saying yes to? Do you need that for your bills? Elsie, please. She's so cute. She's in. She agrees. But like, what are you saying yes to? Because if it, it's not like a heck yes. It doesn't have to be for me. Like there's certain weddings that kind of pay the bills, and like sometimes you have to just do them. But if you get through the end of a season and you just didn't pay attention and there was no intentionality behind filling your schedule, it's like, I can do that one. I can do that one. I can do that one. And then you have 50 weddings in your backlog. You're like, whoa. So like that's a business side, is like paying attention. And then on the creative side for me, like what you're saying, wholeheartedness is so true. A lot of us, I think I said this on the podcast this week, but like we're mainly behind a computer using our minds. If you think about it, if you shoot a lot of weddings a year, it might be 40 or so, 50, which is, 365 days of a year. You're spending 50 of them out doing something with your hands. And the rest of the time you're just in your office doing things or whatever, talking on the phone. Getting out and using your hands, or like doing something physical, if you're spending all your time doing mental work, is a great way to like fill your cup. So for me this last year, I was like, I just want to take photos. Like it's fun to go do sessions. I'm not getting paid even. I would just do it. That's what How to Film Weddings is like, I just want to do it. It's fun to talk to Nick about weddings. It's enjoyable to hang out with my friends. Like I want to do these things and they fill my cup. And so doing all these sessions, and I'm just feeling creative and fulfilled. And like Nick, he's editing all these things. And then he was saying he's getting into his Wild Oak film edit. And he's like, I'm excited now because I was doing something that just filled my cup and now I can pour it back out. And I think that we don't realize that our cup is just being depleted with our family, with our life, with our energy, with our faith, with whatever. And if we don't take time to fill that back up, especially in the Western culture, if we're not just going out and doing Frisbee golf or going on a dude trip or whatever it is, that to me is what gets me fulfilled. The rest, the going out, the combo of all those things.
I always like panel discussions like this because there are so many different thoughts and so many different things that people can focus in on and talk about. And, some people just kind of go rogue and say certain things. Anyway, it is a great thing. I'm so blessed and so grateful that we were able to be a part of that. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and hear from some really influential people in the industry. Again, we are launching Mastermind on January 27th, which is next week as we drop this episode. So if you would like to get on the wait list and be the first to know whenever we give any information about it, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/mastermind. Thanks so much for tuning in. And until next time, we will see ya.